What's up, everybody? This is Mike, one of the Watchmen, here to play a game for you today, something I've been watching. This game is called Gwent, and it is an online card game that I have really enjoyed and gotten into over the last couple months. I decided to challenge myself because I have friends of mine that are really good at strategy, and I have always struggled when I play games against them. They always just seem to outthink me. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to really get into this strategic thinking card game and see if I can prove to myself that I can think strategically. And you know what? I can. Even as old as I'm getting, I've still got a brain here that's working enough for me to handle something like this, which makes me feel good. So I thought I would just show you a little bit about Gwent, which is something I've really enjoyed playing. So let's go ahead and launch the game. It's made by CD Projekt Red. Great company. They made the Witcher games, and the Witcher 3 is still one of my top 10 best games of all time. And Gwent was a game within the game in the Witcher 3 that I really enjoyed playing. And apparently a lot of people did because they decided to make it its own game. So that's Geralt on the horse and Dandelion, his bard, and they go on many adventures together, and Dandelion sings and Geralt kills monsters. So welcome back. My good old games, Witcher Gwent game is Dirk 182. Dirk is actually Dirk from Dragon's Lair, and 182 just had a nice ring to it. So that's how I came up with that code name for my good old games account. So Gwent is a card game where you get 10 cards and you have 3 rounds. And of course, as you spend cards, you can get more cards throughout the rounds, but you can never have over 10. You have various decks, monsters, and the pronunciation, I believe it's Societal. That's how I say it, Societal, which is probably way wrong, but that's okay. Nilfgard, Skellige, and Northern Realms. And then there's also the Syndicate, but I have not ventured into the Syndicate yet. They say that's for advanced users, and I think I'm getting to the point where I could give it a shot. But you have various decks, and each deck has requirements. And I'm not going to get into too much of the technical details. Those of you that have played Gwent know exactly where I'm getting at. Those of you that haven't are probably a little confused. But the basics are this. Every deck has to have 25 cards or more, and you have to have 20 units in a deck. That's people, and then you cannot exceed 164 provisions. So provisions are the number that's down there in the lower corner. See, this card has 13 provisions that it would use if you were to put it in your deck, and the higher the amount of provisions, the more powerful the card. So if I go down to the very bottom, and this is like all the cards, this would be every card in the game that you could get. And at the bottom are the lowest cards, which are all 4-point provisions. So it goes 4, you can see 0 to 4, up to 11 plus. And the number in the upper left corner is the amount of points that you get from the card. And some cards don't have points. They do other things like damage or increase maybe the point value of another card. You also have a leader ability, and I'm using the Imposter, which is lock an enemy unit, then spawn its base copy in the opposite row and boost it by 2. I actually really like this leadership unit, and as you get into the game, there are all kinds of different leadership units you can use. There's another one I like a lot that is in a different faction that allows you to look at your opponent's 3 cards whenever you want, and then pick one of them, copy it, and play it. And I like that. I found as I get into the strategy of this game, I like finding things that I can do to mess up my opponent. There's certain people that they try to build decks that have very specific abilities, and sometimes those can be very powerful. And so I've tried to build a deck that at least I can counter any of those abilities, but I like to make things that can do things to surprise my opponent or throw them off guard versus just try to build my own side. It's probably a mouthful right there. It's okay. So I'm just going to get into a simple game. And if you have more questions, ask me in the comments. that's what they are there for, and I'd be happy to answer if you're curious more about this game. And one thing about Gwent that is great is that it's free to play. So you can download it, you just need a good old games account, and you can play it, and then you can spend money on it, but you don't have to. You can just grind away, and eventually you're going to get rewards that allow you to unlock more cards, or you can purchase a game like Thronebreaker, which is tied to this game, and that'll give you some what I called card crafting points up here. These are rewards, or this is a material that allows you to give cards animations. It's vanity, they call it. And then these are card kegs, which I don't have any card kegs to open right now. Anyway, it's a little bit of advanced there. I'm going to try not to get too much into the details. You can ask questions, or if you want me to do another video where I get into a little more details of what I've learned about Gwent so far, I would be happy to show you. But for now, I'm just going to play a game, and I'm going to talk my way through this game, and we'll see if I can win. So I am going to play a classic match with my favorite deck I'm using right now, which is my Nilfgard deck with my imposter ability, and I built this deck myself. After a lot of matches, I've learned a lot about cards by opponents playing them on me and beating me pretty bad. And so when I've lost, I've thought, man, that card really messed up everything I was trying to do. I'm gonna go find that card and craft it and try to use it myself. So that's half of my learning was just from being beaten by cards I didn't know existed. And so since then, I've found cards I really like, and I will explain as I go. So I am playing a real person somewhere out in the world. So every game you play in Gwent is against someone real, and we're both at level 17, so it tries to match you up against someone who's of similar level. I'm going to go first. I won the coin toss. Going first is not necessarily something you want, so I'm going to have to talk and think quick here, and I'll explain these cards as I get into them. This is a great card. I like this card a lot because any card you lay out after it will get a shield, and shields are what can protect your points. This card is, again, your card has to have a balance of good and kind of so-so cards. That's the way it works, and that's how it tries to keep it fair for everyone who plays. So let's see. I'm going to switch this out because I don't have any other poisoning cards at this point in my hand. Let's see, I'll take it. Oh, that's good. Okay, so Roderick is a good card. I like spy cards a lot. So I have to go first. And I have to think quick because there's a timer that's going to kick in that's going to make me have to make a decision, or I get a card destroyed, and that would pretty much mean my defeat. So I always have to decide, what am I going to play first? And one thing I like about Gwent is it's not about winning the first round. There's a lot more to it than that, and that's what I like. And I really like this card a lot. Part of me wants to save it till later, but fortunately I like all these cards, so I'm gonna have to play this one because I don't have anything else. And I'm gonna go ahead and dump my 5 points into that card. Now, there's a lot that can go on when you hit 9 points and above. There's a Geralt card, which I have that card. I was dealt out of my 25 deck hand. Geralt can destroy an enemy unit with 9 or more power. No questions asked. So if this person who's playing with the monsters deck had a Geralt, they could take me out, but they've decided not to. So they're going for a consume approach where they have cards consume other cards, and they've given this card 3 vitality. So over the next 3 turns, it's going to grow a point every turn. So, so I got to play again. So let's see, what do I want to play? This card is a deploy ability. It doesn't have any powers after the fact. Boy, all these things I really would like to save. This is a problem when you build a deck where you like everything. Now, of course, my timer is running down, so I have to think quick. Well, this is a card I like to save. You know what? Actually, oh boy, tough decisions. I think I will throw this out. And this card is going to lower the power of the highest unit in your opponent's hand to 1. So if he has an 8-point card and it was the highest, it just went to 1. And I'm hoping that he was yelling and screaming out of frustration that I put this on him. I like to save that for later. Now his ability is he's spawning fruit, which is a thrive. Thrive means that every time you play a card with a higher number, that card will increase a point. So he is definitely growing points. He is beating me at this point 14 to 13. And we are down to 8 cards in our hand. So I've got to keep playing. And now the question is, what am I going to do? And you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and steal his 2-point card. I have Swears, who will seize an enemy unit with 3 or less power. So I'm going to put Swears out and grab his 2-point thrived fruit, and now it's thriving for me. It just went up a point. So Swears is a great card I like to play with. I like to save them for later. I feel like I'm throwing out a lot of my good cards now. We'll see if this hurts me later. And he used an ability again. Every time he loses a fruit, he can make a new fruit, which that little status symbol right down there means doomed. It means if you kill it, it goes forever away for the rest of the game. Alright, 6-point Vampire Thrive. Spawn an Echimera and summon it to this row. Death Wish, repeat the deployability. Death Wish means if the card dies, whatever happens would happen again. Okay, he's definitely getting ahead of me on the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a tough situation here because I really should be ahead at this point, and I'm not. So what do? I'm down by 5 points. And I may save my Geralt and use it on that just to try to win this round because of the way the cards are falling. Okay, I'm going to use this. I'm going to target this. It wouldn't let me do that. I should have been paying attention. Okay, well, I will just play it. Not the best play at all. Unfortunately, I was thinking I could... I thought I could use that, and it didn't work quite like I wanted to. Still learning this game, and I will admit it is difficult to talk and play. I'm used to just thinking and playing. Alright, so now I can take out that 9-point card, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. That should put me ahead. Last word. So I'm 22 to 18, and I have 5 cards, and he has 6. Now, if he wants to play again, we're going to start getting down in our cards, which is going to hurt us both later on. This is one of those things where I really would prefer at this point to pass, but I'm in a situation now where if I pass, we have an even amount of cards, and I really would only pass if I was a card up. So it's a tough one. I have a lot of good cards here, and I hate to have to use them, but this guy wants to win this round, and I'm not prepared to lose this round with even cards. So I think I will throw Shoop out, which is a card I like to save for later. And I'll boost an allied unit by 4. So we can go with Geralt. That's fine. I'm just trying to make sure I stay below 9, at least as much as I can. So now I have 4 cards left, and he has 5 cards left. And he's gonna keep playing. So he needs to... He should get ahead of me on this play. And he did. Oh yeah, he's consuming. He's got 7 points up on me. This is getting tough. But I don't know. I'm not prepared to admit defeat yet. This would give me... This would take 1 point off of every card except this. So that's a 6-point deduction. So that would put him down to 36, which is not enough. Boost unit by 5, remove its lock. Now I'm running out of time. Well, let's spy. Might not be the best play. I'll play her, and we each get another card. So Mada will draw me the highest card and draw him the lowest card in his deck. So it's a slight benefit to me. This is not good. Not good at all, and I didn't get ahead. Yeah, not going well for me. Oh, I figured he would have passed. He just really is in this focus of winning. So he's up by 11 points. I can't really come back with another card. At this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass because I can't, I'm having a hard time catching up. This would, let's see, if I use this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that would be 8 points. Yeah, not enough. So I think I'm going to pass and take my chances down the road. So he definitely has an advantage on me at this point. He's won the first round, and we have an even amount of cards. So we're going to each draw 3 more cards, and now I have to win the next round. And that's just to get to the 3rd round. And that's why if I was a card ahead, I'd be a little more confident. But right now, we are tied. So it's going to come down to cards. And let's see. I have 2 poisons here, so that's useful. Purify is really just to fix one of my own cards. Boost unit by 5, damage enemy units by 1. Yeah, he's not going to have a lot of enemy units at this point. Do I have a lot of deploys? I do, so that would give me some points. I really like Vincent because he can wipe out a card with a major defender shield, which when people have thrown that out, I have struggled on that one. So someone used this on me, and I went and got the card, and he has helped me out of a lot of tough spots. So as expected, fruit time for the monsters. And again, that little symbol down there means doomed. That's a status symbol. So Vincent can destroy any unit with status. So, but I don't want to destroy that because that'd be just 1 point. But if it grows, I can destroy it later. So, and this guy, this opponent, is going to try to beat me this round. I am sure of that. All right, Death Wish. If that works, he'll get a 5-point harpy out of that. Let's see. I'm gonna just throw out my my deploy card, where whenever I play a unit with deploy, he'll boost by a point. So that's good to grow over time, since I have a lot of cards that can play with deploy. 6 cards to 6 cards. What has he got up his sleeve? Give an enemy unit bleeding for 2 turns. Okay. Alright. Well, that's going to counter some of that growth, but it will not destroy my card. These are all low point cards he's thrown out. These are all... None of them are row dependent. Oh... He's not an agent. I think I'm just gonna have to boost this by 5 and hope he doesn't have a Geralt. I really wanted to try to save these cards because I have 2 cards that can poison, but I don't want to poison a 3-point card. Okay, now there might be worth something worth poisoning here. Yes. Okay. So he's got an 8-point there, and that's definitely worth tossing some poison. The trick with monsters, though, as I've learned this, is that if I poison that card and he consumes it, my poison is lost. So, tough decision. You know, I might just go ahead and destroy that 5-point doomed card and just hope that by saving my poison ability... Yeah, this is all risk-reward. Risk-reward. Alright, so we'll put Vincent out there and destroy that 5-point doomed card. And I do have my leader ability, which I was saving. Of course, I could have probably used that with Vincent to a better use if I had been thinking more carefully. This will lock an enemy unit, then spawn its base copy in the opposite row, boosted by 2. Okay, he's gonna lock. Fine. Well, I can actually... This is where it's good to have Purify. So I am going to put her out and Purify, which will remove that lock and allow that card to keep growing. Which is why I learned to always have a purify card or two. This one I like a lot because you can choose poison or purify, so you can adjust. Okay, old spear tip. Now, I'm glad I waited because he's worth poisoning, but I have to, if he has any consume, he could mess up my poison. So, let's see. Do I have an agent out there? I think, yeah. No agents. So, of course, he's an agent. What do? I take a chance, poison, and then boost my agent. So this is where risk, reward. So I'm gonna poison old spear tip, and I'm gonna pray he doesn't consume that spear tip and ruin my poison attempt, because the way the card is destroyed. Oh, he boosted a unit by 10. Look at that. Okay, well, I guess I will be able to destroy that card. So, and this might be its base copy. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might lose. So let's go ahead and get rid of old spear tip. Bye. And let my friend play his last card or pass. What's he gonna do? I probably can squeak by this round, unless he's got some ace up his sleeve, which reset all units in a row. Yeah, that didn't. Well, it helped him a little. Let's see. So I gotta think quick here. I'm gonna have to throw everything on the table. And it's a 5 or a 3 or a 5. So let's go ahead and use my ability, lock him, spawn the base copy, and then we'll boost my agent by 3. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. I squeaked it out. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what Gwent is all about right there. So, we are on to round 3, and this is going to come down to points because our leader abilities are pretty spent, and we have 3 cards to play. So, we have had a tough battle here. I like the spy card. That might be useful. 4 points is not that great. Fortunately, a lot of my cards in this deck are meant to grow. So that's worth keeping. Room enemy unit shield and damage it by 4. Well, that's good one way or another. Yeah, I could quickly look at what else is in my deck, and there's the 5-point. Well, okay. Doo-Doo is one of my favorite cards in my deck because he will transform into a base copy of an enemy unit, and that can do all kinds of cool things for you. So I have to go first. So we will throw him out in the melee row, and every turn Alba is going to damage a random unit on the melee row by 1, but he'll probably throw his cards in the ranged row to avoid that, unless they have melee abilities. And there's the fruit. So, okay. So he's got the 8-point griffin. That's going to turn into... Yeah, and the way that works is it has to destroy something. So, what I can do is use Doo-Doo and transform into an 8-point griffin. So what I've done is I've at least countered the points he threw down on the board. But he has 2 cards and I have 1, and I'm only up by 4. So there's his next fruit, because that's what his ability does. And what's he gonna do? What you gonna do, my friend? Well, he's thinking. Boost an allied unit by 8 if there are no other units on this row. Huh. I don't quite know what happened there. Okay. I have to research that one. And this could mean he rage quit. Did he quit? Did he decide he wasn't going to win and quit? And that very well might have been what happened here. Sometimes when people have decided they've lost, they will just forfeit, or they'll just turn off their phone and leave, which I don't do that. I actually will stick it out to the end and make sure I can give someone a good game. But I think this person quit, which what that means is I win. And probably a few more seconds here. If it doesn't come back, I have won, which, you know, that's okay. That's one good thing about this game is if someone rage quits on you, you don't get penalized. You still get the victory, and I'm glad it works that way, because otherwise people would leave. Yep, he quit, and look at that, folks. I won. I won when I was feeling down the whole match. Your opponent's connection was lost. Translated, your opponent rage quit. So I've won the game. So this is a GG button. I am not going to give him a GG because he quit. If he'd have stuck it out to the end and accepted a gracious loss, I would have given him a GG for sure, which would give him 5 free card crafting points. So it's an incentive to GG, but no GG for him. So I've won. Oh, and look, I've completed my next mosaic, and that should up my rank. So, and then we head back to the main menu, and I get an award. So because I filled up that next mosaic, I get some reward points, and I will then start a new mosaic. Well, that was fun. You got to see some cool stuff there. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I am more than happy to answer. I really, really like Gwent. It is a fun game, and I have just had a great time playing it, and am just thirsting for more every day. And what I like about it is a typical match is around 10-15 minutes, perfect for a quick break from something else you're doing. But let me know what you thought, and otherwise, this is Mike, and we appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for watching The Watchmen.
Please click on here to watch other episodes, and be sure to hit that like button too.
And please subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll always be alerted to any future episodes.
It really helps us out, and we appreciate it.
We'll see you next time. And remember, we'll be watching.